this is Vanessa Chamberlain with Americans Serving Americans. And today I'm interviewing Deborah Clemons, and she has an amazing and incredible product called Infusion Blends Butter. Deborah, how are you?
I'm great, Vanessa. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, thank you. Why don't you begin by, how about you tell me about your background?
Sure. My background has been over 35 years sales and marketing, which I did for a lot of large corporations such as Tommy Hilfiger, New York, Commerce Bank, which is now TD Bank. And I also have my own business where I did sales and marketing for small businesses that needed to have a sales and marketing team, but wasn't big enough to bring one in-house. So they would contract out my company's services to help increase their sales in their business.
Okay, so then the butters, where did that come from? Because if you have a background in sales and marketing, that doesn't say cooking or being a chef to
Well,
me.
I have to have some kind of, hobby in my life other than corporate America. And I love to cook. I mean, it was just something I just enjoyed doing. I like watching Food Network and then going and copying what they're doing. And then I started really getting into seasonings and seasoning food with herbs and spices. And that's, really much how I started seasoning my meats with more herbs and spices and cooking that way and olive oils, for just healthier cooking. And one day I had a friend of mine, she was diagnosed with cancer, and I used to cook for her. So I would take my custom made spice rub for her meats and or her chicken dish and all whatever she wanted to cook with, meat wise. And then I would just, kind of got lazy one day and I just rolled it all up into the butter and I gave it to her. And she called me up and she says, I absolutely love your butter. I went to my refrigerator and I started to saute some veggies, and I was going to use my regular butter, but I ended up using yours because I said, all the seasoning's already in it. And she goes, it was amazing. It was so good. And then she kept calling me back with different ways that she was cooking with it. She put it in her pasta sauce. She, cooked fish with it. She did all kinds of different things with it. So I just went, I wonder. And I just started actually making it and testing it out on friends and family and coming up with ideas that people were familiar with as far as flavors are concerned. And it just started to grow. So I said, I think I got a business here. And then I went on to Google to learn how to become a food manufacturer and all the things that you need to do in order to be a food manufacturer. And just did it. And the next thing you know, it's a product that's out in the market and people are buying it, loving it, and enjoying it.
Now, you mentioned that you had flavors. You mentioned the word flavors a couple different times. Why don't you tell everyone what flavors you have currently in the butter blends that you make?
Well, my current flavors are Amazing Rosemary, Oh My Blueberry, this is a blueberry butter, and then I have one called Perfectly Peachy, peach butter, and then we have Cajun butter.
Ooh,
so those are the 4 flavors, and we're working on some new flavors coming out. I just did in my test kitchen this morning a garlic butter, but it's a little different than most garlic butters you probably have ever had because I put my little special spin on it and a little smoky taste to it, and it's pretty good. So looking forward to getting that out in line soon.
That sounds amazing. Have you had the opportunity to try that one yet?
No, I haven't. I know it's good. So I usually test on other people. So when I get their recommendation, they say, oh, this is great. Then I know it's good. So what I end up doing is I like to cook with it. So when I start to cook with it, because right now it's curing, because it takes what's the reason why I call it infusion. It takes another day for the actual flavors to really infuse into the butter. And so when I start to cook with it, then you'll get to see how great it tastes and taste how great it tastes. And that's why we call it, it's all in the butter, because all the seasoning, the salt, peppers, the flavors are all in the butter. So you don't have to use any other ingredients.
Well, that's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing, especially for someone like me. I don't like to cook. And when I do cook,
if you're a gourmet cook, I had one of our chefs who used to do demos for us. She came up with this really great tagline. She goes, pop the top and become a gourmet chef. So you instantly just pop the top and you're a gourmet chef. You'll have a meal taste just like you came out of a 5-star restaurant.
Heck yes, that's perfect. It's perfect for someone like me, especially. I look at the spice rack and I go, oh, Lord, I get to
Well,
play
yeah,
eeny, meeny,
exactly.
miny, mo.
Exactly. So with these butters, these are the other, in addition to the fact that it's all natural, hormone-free butter that we use, all the ingredients are clean, it's all organic. That's a wonderful thing in by itself. But the way that the butter that we purchase, which we buy locally here in Georgia, it's direct from the creamery. The butter has a 93% butter fat, which is higher than European, which is a really good butter. That means it won't burn as quickly when you cook. So you know how sometimes you'll go put butter in a pan, you're cooking eggs or something, before you get your eggs in there, it's all turned brown.
It's brown.
Well, exactly. Well, this butter won't do that because it's made for cooking. Though you can use it as a spread, because people will use the fruit butters and just eat it right out the jar.
I was going to say, I know somebody, I'm not going to name the person because they're going to see this video.
Don't name them. Yeah.
I know someone who's done that.
Yeah,
but
so they can be used as spreads, but they because they're packed way more than your regular finishing butters with way more spicing, that gives it your ability to cook with it, and it holds up into cooking, grill, bake, whatever you want to use.
That is absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. Because yes, you're right. It does. It turns brown in the bottom of the pan, and it does that for me too when I'm trying to make a roux. I told you I don't know how to. Well, I know how to cook, but I'm not a great cook. So by the time I get to start making my roux, I'm like, oh, I'm like, gotta start over.
This is what helps you become a great cook. Pop to the top, and you're a gourmet chef.
Yes. Okay, perfect. So I do know I haven't had the opportunity to taste your butters. I've had the opportunity to smell the food that you've made with the butters, and it was amazing. You were there in the Eagle's Nest with us. You made food with your butters for the Eagles, and every single one of them loved the food.
Yeah, I was surprised. 5 out of 5.
You were surprised?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be surprised. Yeah, you shouldn't be surprised. It's so far you've got unanimous votes on everyone who's tasted your butters, right? Or foods made with your butter. Well, and the butters themselves.
Yes.
Straight out of the jar. So you have 2 fruit butters and you have 2 savory butters. Would you call it Cajun savory or spicy?
Well, actually, I call the savory butters. So that's the rosemary and the Cajun. Okay. And then the sweet butters is the peach and the blueberry. Oh. And what I did that day was I like to combine my spices, because you can combine the butters together and come up with an amazing taste. What I did was I cooked they had chicken, and just like skinless chicken breast, and I cooked that with a combination of the peach butter and the Cajun butter. Ooh, then I did the rice, which was a brown rice and veggies. I did that in the rosemary butter and combined them all together, and that's what that dish came up to be. Those guys are eating it like they had eaten in weeks.
See, next time I'm eating food.
Yeah, exactly.
Next time I'm going to eat food too. So yeah, no, they did.
They took your plate. They ate it before you could even get any.
I know. I'll be okay though. I'll be okay though. No, absolutely. I have good news. You shared good news the other day. Now I'm going to share it. You're in Kroger stores now.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Very, very excited about that. Woohoo! Yeah, we expanded into Kroger, so I'm very excited about that. It's been extremely successful. So much so within our first month that we were invited to do a special demo for all the executives from the Kroger affiliates. And the vice president came in and he tasted not vice president, he's the president of Kroger's in this region. And he came in and Bruce was like, I absolutely love this butter. This is so good. We got to get you into more stores. And, he called over his crew and said, we got to get into more stores. And they started having a little conversation on the side. He's coming back to me, he goes, we're getting you into more stores. And he's over 186 of those stores. So I'm very excited that he loved the butter.
That's incredible.
And his favorite was the perfectly peachy and was eating it out of the jar.
That's another one. That's the same flavor that other person I was talking about ate out of the jar too.
Yes. And so that's very, very exciting to have that reaction from the executives, and it opened us up to a much larger audience very quickly. I mean, and I have to say too, it takes usually like a long time to get into these type of chain markets. But, I was fortunate enough through a friend of mine, her name's Pam Chapman. She did this wonderful thing of getting me connected with a Kroger. And upon them just tasting the butter, it literally, I've been in business for a year and a half, year and 8 months. And I'm in Kroger. So, that's like, a testament to not just the product, but the, support team that I have around me to be able to get into such a large retailer like that so quickly.
Right, and it truly speaks volumes about how good your product really is. And that's
Yeah, I mean, I'm still amazed sometimes when people taste like, oh my God, this is so good. It just cracks me up.
Well, you should be proud, honestly.
I am.
So you've been in business for a year and a half already?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what had you approaching American Serving Americans? What brought you to us?
I had met one of the Eagles, and she told me that she tried my product and said, you need to go and sign up for this. It's an amazing program, and do your business well. It will help get me out there, also to help get me funding. And at the time, I was talking to Kroger, and we were closing the deal, and I knew that I was going to need to start scaling up, to go from me by myself to being able to hire in staffs of people and creating an infrastructure that would support the type of business, the amount of business that I would get from an account of this size. So it was perfect timing to find out about ASA and what you guys are doing, and as far as investing into entrepreneurs and small businesses. But not only that, the support on the marketing side, which is so crucial, to be able to have thousands or tens of thousands of members out there pushing your product and pushing your brand, says volumes to not only what ASA is doing in a thought out business model, but to be able to be there to be supportive of small businesses. So this is an absolutely awesome opportunity, and and I welcome and invite anyone out there who's looking to expand their business or start a business to definitely come in and to sign up.
Absolutely. And if you're looking for funding right now, that would be www.asafunding.com would be the website you'll want to go to and fill out the application there. If you're looking for a movement to join to help other entrepreneurs get to where Deborah is, you're there. You're realizing the power of American Serving Americans, and really the power is in the people. And if you'd like to join the movement, the address is www.asacampaign.com. Deborah, thank you so much for joining me today and giving me just a little bit of your time.
Thank you so much, and appreciate it. I want to say, thank you to you, Vanessa. Thank you to all the Eagles, to ASA, and what you guys are doing to help further small businesses, and to all those members out there who've already inboxed me and sent me supportive information. Thank you all, and I'm looking forward to working with you now and in the future.
Well, thank you. We really do appreciate you. And yes, the members are the magic in this company. They really are.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So yes. So until next time, this is Vanessa Chamberlain with Deborah Clemons with American Serving Americans. Bye for now.
Bye.